everybody, this is Samantha, the girl looking for the horse, Jobert. I'm recording on my mom's black light camera, so it's not that great, it's kind of grainy and kind of fuzzy. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I just kind of thought I'd do a video, and I think I'm going to do a video blog from here on out. You know, I want to get more in depth on who I am and why I'm searching for my horse. And if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free to. I will answer them. And probably a lot of the question you guys are wondering is why I dropped out of high school. There's a big long story on that one. I've never liked school. I always like to learn on my own, and I like to teach myself things. I've taught myself everything that I know so far, except for, you know, the school stuff that you have to learn in kindergarten, grade school, and all that, which was actually pretty fun for me because I had pony club and I loved it. So I went to school every day to do pony club.
Pandora listeners, don't
But
let your weight loss resolution end in failure this
in
year.
high school and all that, it
Instead,
got
try
really
this.
boring.
Census
And then when the
making
teacher
available
started
free trial kits
to
anyone who wants to
get
lose
on my
weight.
case
Click
and
here
put me
or visit
down and
getcensa.com
pretty much bully
today.
me, I didn't want to do it anymore. So I decided that I'd drop out. And I ended up dropping out, and then I went back. And then when my father left my mom after my homecoming dance, I had a date for it, and I was real excited and stuff. And then I come home, and my father's with a briefcase and his whole stupid stuff, and he's walking out the door. Needless to say, my date ended up hightailing it and was halfway back home by the time I called him and got everything kind of figured out. He ended up leaving, and he was gone for a month. And he wanted me to move in with him, and I decided I didn't want to because I didn't want that drama, that stress. So I decided to drop out. Well, there's other reasons why I dropped out too. It's because I had troubles with the teachers. I ended up getting called out of class animal science, which was my favorite. I love learning about animals. I love veterinary work. I love all that. So I ended up getting in trouble, and I was pulled out of class, and I went down to the principal's to figure out what was going on, and he ended up, yeah, it was the principal first, and then the cop came in. But he ended up telling me that I did a burnout up a road up the high school. And I'm like, that's kind of funny, you know, I've never done that. And he said that I did, and he said that I did it in my old Ford, and I'm like, dude, I sold my Ford a long time ago, I now drive a car. And then it turned into, you know, I did it in the car and all this and that. So they were just trying to get me. So I stood my ground and I got pissed off. And I ended up having the cop come in, the campus cop, which I had no idea was an actual cop. I was just thought, you know, I'd get paid to protect the students. So I was kind of mean. I didn't really treat him like a cop, like I should have. But, you know, he was saying that I did it too. And, you know, I knew exactly what I did, and I didn't do any of that. And they were just trying to put blame on me and get me out of school. So I ended up mouthing off, and I got suspended for 2 months off the school grounds, and I just kind of looked at both of them, and I said, you know what, thank you for giving me another reason to drop out. I smiled and walked away, and one of the girls that used to pick on me and beat me up and all that, you know, put me down, try to knock me down in the hallways and stuff like that, she had a newfound respect for me for standing up for my grounds. And I am doing that right now for Joe. My father sold him behind my back for dropping out of high school because I didn't want to put up with the bullying in there, I didn't want to put up with the crap there. And he thought that, you know, selling my horses, my quarter horse stock, which is found, he's safe, he's good, he's in a loving home, and I get to see him this summer, and I'm excited. But, yeah, he sold my best friend, and for that I could never forgive him for. He left us on my homecoming dance, and wanted me to move in with him and all that, like I said. And I ended up dropping out for good after that, if I remember right. I don't think I ever went back. But I dropped out, and I didn't want to put up with any of it anymore. And then he came back after a month. And he thought he was all big and all that, you know. He came back and thought that he was everything again. And honestly, he wasn't. I lost a lot of respect for him after that. So, when summer came around, Joe was still laid up from being injured from one of my friends. She put him in with a ex-stallion, my bad. And he was 16 3-hands, full-blooded quarter horse, big boy. And my little Joe was a youngin', and he was only 14'2", probably 14'1" at the time. Little tiny Arab chest, little tiny Arab withers, everything was so tiny. And he ended up pulling and ripping all his tendons in the hind leg. So I had him laid up for quite some time, and the vet said 6 months. I gave him a year. I thought a year was good enough. I didn't want him to be injured. I didn't want him to be laid up longer than that, you know. And then the little butt had figured out that if he pretended to limp, that I would put him away. So here's the story on that one. When I would ride him, he would all of a sudden turn up lame, start limping, start doing all that, and I'd put him away. Well, for a while he would walk off limping, you know, and he'd be like, oh yeah, I'm injured, you know. And then after about a couple weeks of that, he would run off. And I'd go, oh, you know, I figured that one out, you know, you're pretending to be lame, you know, you don't want to be ridden, just tell me. So he'd come back up to me and bite me, you know, and say, let's go play. So I'd play with him. But, what was I saying? I was talking about when he sold him, that's right. Yeah, so there's been a whole long story with that. My mom came up to me and said Joe was like given away or sold or something like that, and that he was leaving. And I thought, you know, this can't be going on, this has to be a lie, this can't be what's happening. Sure enough, 3 days later, the trailer showed up, and I was to lead him over there, and I was to put him in the hands of the new owner. And I ended up giving him a big hug like I used to do when he was sold before. And I grabbed his little ear, and he kind of went up to me like, okay, Mom, what do you have to say? And I told him, I said, boy, you're going to be gone for a long time. You better behave, because these people are not nice. They will hurt you. And I want you to listen to them. I want you to give it your all. And whoever you're with, I want you to change your life for the better. I want you to be a good boy. And know that I always love you. And I will find you no matter what. I don't care how long it is. I don't care how old we both are. I will find you. And he gave me a lick on the hand like he used to always do. Nudged me and kind of gave me a, okay, Mom, I know what I have to do now. My father, on the other hand, went up to the owner and said, this horse is a bad penny. I want you to do everything in your power to get rid of him and never have him come back. And I remember hearing that from him. So, you know, I handed the lead rope over, and it was the hardest thing to ever do. And I told him about the tricks he does. I told him about how he tells you when he's ready to be ridden, when he's ready to go barrel race, when he's ready to do this, his tricks. You know, you touch him in the back of the front knee, he will go down, he will bow, he will curtsy, he'll nip at you, he'll answer yes or no questions, he'll run next to you without a lead rope, without a halter. I used to barrel race him without anything on. I used to jump him without anything on. He was my best boy and my world. And you know what they said? They said that that's a bad habit and that it needs to be broken out of him. Now, broken means to them beat. I remember these horses that they had when I was riding with them would be drenched in sweat. And even if their horse would rest their hind leg, they would spur the hell out of their shoulders. So I knew exactly what he was going into. I didn't like it, but I had nothing to, I couldn't say anything. So there goes my boy in the trailer driving down. I followed him and I did a big old peel out on my dad's freaking asphalt. He hated it, and it stayed there for a long, long time. And every time my father saw that, it was a reminder of how worthless he is and what he did. So I followed him for about 10 miles, and I listened to him whinny, and I listened to him cry, and I saw the trailer moving, trying to get him. He was trying to get out. He wanted back with me. So, you know, I've been searching ever since, and I've been looking high and low for him, and I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what I have to go through to find him. I will find him. And I hope when I do find him, he's happy and being ridden by a little girl. Or a little boy. And I hope that they love him as much as I do. Because I will someday have him back, but I don't want to take him from a little girl. I don't want to take him from a little boy. If he's happy, I don't care if I have to wait longer. I'm just glad that I would know where he is, and I'm just glad that I would know that he's okay. And I would want first buy on him. And I want that in writing. That's all I ask for when I find him. So, for everybody who wanted to know the emotion that I have for him, if you guys can't hear it in my voice, I'm not very good at doing recordings and all that. I kind of look like crap because I've been working all day on his photos and trying to do research and all that. I'm sorry if I got off topic. I'm going to be doing this more often so you guys can see the emotions, see my eyes, see everything instead of just being hidden behind a screen. I'm going to start his own little blog, and I'm going to start his own little YouTube channel, and I'm not going to give up on my boy. And then once I find him, there's going to be a whole heck of a lot more videos, of me and him. And when I have kids, my kids on him. And the marriage, when I get married to my lovely fiance. And I'm going to write a story, and everybody is going to be included in that story for my search. I love all of you guys, and thank you so very much for helping me out. Have a great night, you guys. Bye.